Dogecoin has been all the hype. For the purposes of this video, I will be calling it Dogecoin. And if you want to know my thoughts on Dogecoin and if it's going to $1, make sure you watch this video until the end. What's up everybody, I am Jaspreet Singh from the minorityMindset.com, where money minds rethink rich. Dogecoin started off as a joke to almost make fun of cryptocurrency, and then Elon Musk came out and he talked about how ironic it would be if the thing that was a joke, Dogecoin in this case, became the actual cryptocurrency and the reserve cryptocurrency. So now you have Elon Musk promoting this Dogecoin, trying to take it to the moon, and then you have people like Snoop Dogg talking about how much he loves Dogecoin, and this has helped Dogecoin shoot up to be the best performing cryptocurrency in 2021. Between the beginning of 2021 and the beginning of April 2021, Dogecoin has gone up by 1,600%. Compare that to the stock market growth. I mean, if you took your first stimulus check back when you got it in 2020, so April or May 2020, and you used the $1,200 to buy all Dogecoin when it was 0.0025 cents, your $1,200 investment into Dogecoin would today be worth over $160,000. Not bad for a stimulus check. That being said, everyone's wondering what's coming next for Dogecoin. Is it going to shoot up to the moon and hit $1? Or is it going to shoot up to Mars and hit $100? Or is it going to come back crashing down to Earth? But before I get into that, I need you to do me a quick favor and smash the thumbs up button below. And a quick word from our sponsor, Webull. If you are interested in investing in stocks commission-free, Webull lets you do that on their app, and they are giving you Minority Mindset fans free stocks just for trading with them. So if you want to learn more and see how you can start buying and selling stocks commission free with Webull, I got the link to how you can do that and how you can get your free stocks in the description below. First things first, let me disclose how much money I've invested in Dogecoin so we're on the same page. As of now, I have invested nothing in Dogecoin because I am an investor. I am not a gambler. I've gotten a lot of comments over the last couple weeks of people asking me, Jaspreet, why haven't you made any videos about Dogecoin? Should I be buying Dogecoin? Should I put all my money in Dogecoin? Should I YOLO and put my whole life savings in Dogecoin? I've never liked gambling. I've been to a casino a couple of times, and I think I've gambled a total of $7 in my life at the casino, and I felt really bad gambling that $7. Okay, so I am not a gambler. I like investments, and when I talk about investments, I like value. I want to see what value an investment brings and what value this investment has in the future. And if I like that value and I believe it's an undervalued investment because I believe in the long-term potential in it, I will invest in this asset. Dogecoin is not an investment. It is a gamble. People are buying Dogecoin right now for one of two reasons. Either you're hoping to get rich quick because you're hoping that this coin is going to go to the moon or go to Mars, or you believe in the long-term value of Dogecoin because you think that Dogecoin is going to be the next cryptocurrency reserve, meaning it's going to be the cryptocurrency people use to buy and sell things with. The thing that you need to understand is that there's a big difference between investing your money and gambling your money. Now, you can make a lot of money gambling, and you can make a lot of money very quickly, but gambling is different than investing. Let me give you an idea of my investment portfolio so you know where I'm coming from. My investment portfolio is mainly made up of real estate and stocks. I do have some money in cryptocurrency, but for the purposes of this video, let's talk about real estate and stocks. Real estate, when I invest in real estate, I'm looking for one thing. I am looking for cash flow. When I invest in a property, I don't really care what the price of this property is or how much this property might be worth in the future. I want to know if I have to put in $100,000 today, how much money am I going to make every single month after that? So I want to know how much money do I have to put in today and how much money am I going to make every month from here on out, right? Cash flow, that's what I'm investing for. If property values go up, great. If they go down, oh well, I'm still getting my cash flow. When I invest in stocks, the vast majority of my stock market portfolio are in things like ETFs or value investments. So actually I have more money in value investments than ETFs, but value investments where I find a company that I like, and if I can find it where I believe is undervalued, I'm going to hold it for the long term. I'm a long-term investor. This is probably somewhere in the range of 90 to 95% of my stock market portfolio, long-term investments. So these are companies mainly that I believe in for the long term, that I want to own for the long term, or some ETFs. The rest of my portfolio are kind of into the more fun side of things. So these are things that are a little bit more speculative. things that I think can pop in the future, things that, you kind of categorize more on the gambling if you want to go that route space, but this is more speculative. Things that I think are more kind of upside opportunity right now because I think this is something that might be trending. This more speculative part of my portfolio is somewhere in the range of 5 to 10% of my stock market portfolio. Not 5 to 10% of my entire investment portfolio, just my stock market portfolio, and I'm pretty sure it's right around that 5%. The thing that I'm kind of concerned about is right now you have a lot of people throwing their money into things like Dogecoin and things like that, hoping they can get rich quick, which is more of kind of the speculative type of investment, but it's not 5 to 10% of the portfolio. People are following the YOLO portfolio lifestyle where they're taking that 95% and they're putting it here, and they have nothing here, they have nothing here. Now look, with no risk comes no return. And Dogecoin is high risk, high potential return. Because if Dogecoin goes from 35 cents to $1 or $100, well, now you can make a lot of money. The risk, of course, because there is a lot of risk with this, is that you put your life savings, or you put the majority of your investment portfolio into this Dogecoin, and now you hope that it goes up to $1 or $100, and instead of going to $1, it ends up going to $0, and now you have lost everything. We are in a very strange economic and investment environment right now, and the thing that I need you to understand is that nothing can go straight up forever. The best piece of advice that I can give you on this is something from Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett says that in the short term, the stock market is a voting machine, and in the long term, the stock market is a weighing machine. You can apply the same logic to cryptocurrency, but what that means is in the short term, you can see wild swings and wild rallies of a stock or in cryptocurrencies just based on how much people like it. And so if you have popular celebrities getting behind something and you have a lot of kind of sentiment behind it and everybody gets excited and everybody wants to own this thing, it can make this investment rally, especially in the short term, and people can get rich because of it. But over the long term, and the long term doesn't have to mean 2 weeks or 2 months, it could be years. But over the long term, the stock market, and in this case cryptocurrency too, is a weighing machine. What that means is it's not just how much people like this thing or how much people want it to go up. Its value is based on its underlying value. How much do people actually use this, and does this asset, this investment, actually have value? Let me quantify what I mean by talking about what you see happen in real estate, because everyone knows that real estate is kind of your more stable investment. Everybody knows that everyone needs a home. Everyone knows that real estate is important. Real estate is an established asset class in our society. But even within that, you have different neighborhoods, different pockets, different cities, different parts of the country which are more established real estate, your mature real estate, and some places that are not. And so what you see happen in the real estate investment space is you'll have some neighborhoods that are gonna be a little bit more of a risky investment. And so when you're early adopter, these are people that are looking for the next big city, the next big thing. When these early adopters go there, they're going to be getting much bigger returns. These people might be looking for 15 to 20% a year because they're taking on extra risk. They're going into an area where rents are not stable, where jobs are not stable, where people might not be paying rent stably, but they believe that in the future, this area is going to boom. And so they're coming in, they're taking that risk, and because they're taking that risk, they're hoping for better returns. The reason why they're getting better returns is because there's a chance that these investments are not going to go up. There's a chance that these investments will fail. And so your early adopters need better returns, but they're also the ones that are the first movers in the market. Then, if jobs start to come in, businesses start to come in, that's when your growth investors are going to come in and they're going to say, ooh, it looks like this area is really starting to grow. It hasn't hit real maturity. It hasn't become a super popular state, but people are starting to move there, and these growth investors are starting to see that. And so now they're coming in, and they're going to be looking for something like 9 to 12, 13% returns because they're still taking on a lot of risk. There still might be a lot of crime here. There still might be a lack of jobs. There still might be a kind of a housing problem where you might not be getting stable rents. But it's not as bad as it was a few years ago when the early adopters were coming in, because back then nobody believed in this area. Now people say this might be up and coming or it's starting to come up, but there's still a lot of risks associated with it. So these investors want more money. Then as more jobs come in, more businesses come in, more rent stabilize, more higher incomes come in, and that's when people here start to make more money and the city starts to boom. Maybe it even matures and now it becomes a super established city where everybody wants to be. And now when you want to invest in this area, property values are through the roof and you have everybody that has a great job. Now it's more of a mature investment, and now you might only be making 5 to 7% a year because it's such a more mature investment. Now your risk is much lower, but because your risk is lower, you're also going to get lower returns. 5 years ago, the only people that had money in cryptocurrency were your early adopters. These are people that believed in cryptocurrency before 90% of people even knew what cryptocurrency was. Then over the last couple years, you've been seeing people get a little bit more accustomed to cryptocurrency. There's still a lot of skepticism around cryptocurrency, but you're starting to see the next level of people, in this case, the growth people that have been putting their money in cryptocurrency. We haven't hit this mature phase, but we're in this growth phase where people are starting to see the value of cryptocurrency, and the next phase of investors and buyers are starting to come in. The tricky thing here, now, especially with something like Dogecoin, is there's a lot of hype, and there's a lot of excitement, and there's a lot of sentiment around something that started off as a joke. And so many people are looking at this just as a pump and dump scheme where people are just trying to get rich quick. They're not looking at it as an investment. They're not looking at its underlying value. They're not looking at what the asset is. They're just buying it because they want to get rich. That's why I said earlier in this video that there's a big difference between investing your money and gambling your money. You can make a lot of money gambling. I mean, this whole Dogecoin saga has made some people millionaires and very, very rich. But just because you can make a lot of money doing it doesn't mean that you should be putting your money in there, because gambling is very risky. And so you got to understand your risk tolerance. You got to understand what your goals are. And if we're talking about investing your money, you got to understand what it means to actually invest your money. We here are a financial education channel. I want you to make smart investment decisions. I'm not here to promote get rich quick systems. I'm not here trying to promote hypey stocks. I'm not here trying to promote the next big thing. Get in now before everybody else does. I'm here trying to spread financial education. That way you can make smart investment decisions for yourself and for your family. That way you can build wealth over the long term. You can make a lot of money trading. You can make a lot of money gambling. If you do, take that money now and put it somewhere that's going to keep you and make you wealth over the long term. It can be a lot of fun. I mean, I can come up here and joke around about making a YOLO portfolio and throwing all of your money into Dogecoin, hoping that you can get rich quick. But there's a difference between that fun and investing. Yes, you can have fun. If you want to throw a little bit of money in Dogecoin and have fun, and you want to see what happens, you want to go for the ride, go ahead. Or just remember that this is fun. This is not investing. And so you got to understand the difference between the fun and the investing. If you ask me, I'm an investor. I don't like having fun. That's why I don't put my money in Dogecoin. Did Jasprit just say he doesn't like having fun? Somebody get him some guac. I want you to make smart financial decisions. And the way you make smart financial decisions is by knowing what's going on and knowing what you're investing in. By the way, yes, I do like having fun. So now going back to the question on everyone's mind, is Dogecoin gonna go up to $1 or $100? Well, let's put it this way. At 33 cents a coin, Dogecoin has a value of right around $44 billion. So if Dogecoin shot up to $1 a coin, that means its value would shoot up to right around $130 billion. So we would need another $90 billion of value to come into Dogecoin to help the price shoot up. And for Dogecoin to go up to $100 a coin, that means its market value would need to go up to right around $13 trillion. To put that into perspective, if Dogecoin hit $100, that means that the Dogecoin valuation would be more than 8 times the entire valuation of the Amazon corporation. That means you're gonna need a lot of doggy believers. If you enjoyed this video, here's a video on habits that keep people poor that I think you'll love. And while you're at it, download a free stock market PDF. And as always, keep hustling. You're only young once, and you wanna drive a nice car when you're young. I get that. But if you want to be able to live that life that people dream about, and if you want to drive the cars that people wish they could drive, then you have to be willing to do the things